To start our second word problems lesson, we're going to start with a do now, reviewing our word problems from the previous lesson. So a 3-foot piece of fabric is cut into 2/3 foot long pieces. Find the number of whole pieces that can be cut. So 3-foot piece of fabric cut into 2/3 foot long pieces. Maybe we're going to make mittens or something. I don't know. But when I see that word that it's cut into it, I'm thinking divide. Okay? So that's going to be 3 divided by 2/3. So we're going to keep, change, flip, which will give us 9/2, or 4 1/2 pieces. We want to know how many whole pieces. Well, we can make 4 whole pieces. Okay. Part B, how much fabric is left over in feet? In A, we figured out how many pieces, that we have a half of a piece. And we know that each little piece is 2/3 of a foot long. So we have 2/3, we have half of 2/3. And I think this one's a little intuitive. We can say, oh, that's going to be 1/3, right? So really operationally, we're multiplying here. We're going to cross cancel, and we get 1/3 of a foot left over. Okay. Now, our next style of word problem, working with whole numbers in these contexts, we're going to take 3 different approaches. Our first approach, I like to think of more of as a visual approach using kind of bar models. So Baker baked 20 cookies for a bake sale. He sold 2/5 of them and gave 3/4 of the remainder to his friend Heidi. How many cookies does he have left? So Baker baked 20 cookies for a bake sale. He sold 2/5 of them. So I'm going to split Baker's 20 cookies into fifths so I can see how many he gave to Heidi. So 20 cookies split into fifths, that's going to be 4 cookies in each of the fifths, right? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 2/5 he sold. So here's 2/5. Those 2/5 are sold. Okay. Now we want to think about what's left. Okay. So what's left are these 3/5, 4, 8, 12. So there are 12 left, or we might say 12 remaining. Okay. 3/4 of what's remaining, so 3/4 of the 12 remaining, he gives to his friend Heidi. So we're going to take these 12 and split them into fourths. So here, we're going to split it into fourths. If we have 12, splitting it into fourths, each fourth is going to have 3 cookies, right? 3, 6, 9, 12. 3/4 he gives to Heidi. So these go to Heidi. We want to look at what's left over. Oh, just 3. So just 3 cookies left for Baker. Okay. So that's our visual approach. This type of problem we always see in the context of whole numbers, of starting with a whole and having a whole answer. So the visual approach always works really nicely here. Okay. So then our second method, which is a little more operational, I'll say. Same problem, Baker sells 20 cookies. He sold 2/5 of them, gives 3/4 the remainder to his friend. So if he sold 2/5 of them, we want to figure out, well, what is 2/5 of 20? So kind of step one, what is 2/5 of 20? Right, so 2/5 of 20, that's going to be 2/5 times 20. So cross canceling. Right? So 2/5 of 20 is 8. So 8 were sold. Okay. He gives 3/4 of the remainder. Well, step 2, you got to figure out what's remaining. So what wasn't sold? So that would be 20 minus 8, which gives you 12 remaining. Of that 12 remaining, 3/4 were given to Heidi. So now we got to figure out, well, what is 3/4 of 12? So again, we're going to multiply. 3/4 of 12, cross cancel, is 9. So that's 9 to Heidi. And then finally, we want to figure out what's left for Baker. Well, 12 minus 9 is 3, right? And that's where we're getting those 3 cookies left for Baker. And I told you one more approach, our third method, I'm going to say is a little more like operational plus. It's a little quicker, okay? So this one's a little more fraction based. So thinking of, so if Baker sold 2/5 of the cookies, well, then he didn't sell 3/5, right? 1 minus 2/5, our whole, means 3/5 not sold. Right, so let's just figure out, well, what's 3/5 of 20? So 3/5 times 20 equals 12. 12 remaining. 3/4 of the remainder were given to Heidi. Well, if he gave 3/4 away to Heidi, that means 1/4 was left. Now what's 1/4 of 12? 3. 3 cookies left. Okay. So it's your choice of which of the 3 ways you want to go about this. So again, we can do our visual approach, which is using a bar model, breaking it down each time. Works beautiful, not too hard to write out either. We can take our operational method, right, where we're multiplying, figure out what 2/5 of 20 is, subtracting to get the remainder, what 3/4 of that is, subtracting to get what's left. Or kind of our fraction approach, where we're saying, oh, if you give 2/5 are sold, 3/5 are not sold, what's that? If 3/4 is given away, 1/4 is not given away, what's that? So that's up to you as we want to work on it in our classwork here. So that's the first question on each level. And then we get kind of just into some regular word problems where we just want to spend our time and think about it. And remember, if we're not sure what to do operationally, imagine the problem as if they were whole numbers.